in the news, we have gotten worldwide attention for the plight of two oxen, Bill and Lou. The oxen are in Vermont and have been offered sanctuary. They've been at Green Mountain College working all their lives, and one of them was injured, and now school seems to want to kill them and eat them, serve them at the college cafeteria. And a lot of people around the world are upset about this, and people would like them to go to a sanctuary. My guest today is Miriam Jones. She's with the Vine Sanctuary, V-I-N-E. Veganism is next evolution. And she would like to have Bill and Lou at her sanctuary. Miriam, welcome to Go Vegan Radio with Bob Linden. How are you today?
Good. Thank you so much for having us on the show.
Thanks for being with us. So, well, tell us about the story of Bill and Lou. It's really captured everyone's heart around the world. We want to save them, and give us the background.
Sure. You did a great job of it, but basically Bill and Lou are two oxen who live at Green Mountain College in Poultney, Vermont. They have lived there for about 10 years, and as you said, have been worked most of that time to do anything from plow the fields to haul hay wagons to actually generate electricity. And then sometime early spring, Lou stepped into a gopher hole and injured his hock. And I believe there was definitely one, perhaps two periods in which he received rest and then was put back to work, only to re-injure his leg. So it became clear that he could no longer be worked. And Bill, it should be said, has not been injured during this process. So through a series of decisions, which I honestly, at this point, it's difficult to tell how the decision was made, but it was decided to send them to slaughter and to serve their meat in the cafeteria. The decision was made well before students returned to school in the fall, but it was decided to let them live through the end of October, and for reasons that I don't know. And so,
what are some of the reasons that they've mentioned? I mean, I know they won't make any sense, but what have they been saying?
Well, no, honestly, we literally haven't heard any reasons for the delay.
Oh, really?
Right. So,
I've heard things. I've heard things quoted such as, well, it's environmentally sustainable to kill them because they're not useful anymore. So why waste resources on them like food? Right?
Yes, that's a reason to kill them. They've given several reasons to kill them. Why they waited several months to do so is unclear. But yes, absolutely. So what happened was an alum.
But in that case, that reason to kill them, I mean, that could be said for grandma, right? I mean, if grandma's not so useful anymore, and she's eating too much oatmeal. So, right? I mean, it's crazy reason. If you like, we can jump to the reasons why they gave. I was given two primary reasons on the phone when I spoke with the farm manager. Okay.
And the first one was economic, actually, that this is what farms do, and that we're supplying our school with food, and it's the cost of blah blah, economic, straight up. And when I countered that argument, then the next reason was given about sustainability. And that has been, although through the process the reasons have shifted to some extent, that is the primary one that the school is sticking with. That word sustainability is, as you know, a hot-button word right now, and, you can kind of throw it around, and whether or not a given situation really speaks to that is almost irrelevant to that word, the power of that word.
Mm-hmm. So sustainability, and I've also heard people quoted saying that it's better to eat the animals whom you know, and that they've been treated well, and so rather than eating strangers who may not have been treated so well. I mean, these are all. I mean, it's all weird for a vegan,
It is. Kind of confused. It is, and interestingly, the official school position has tended to to straddle the sustainability line. But faculty members, and particularly those concerned with the farm program, but not solely, they have put forth that argument that you just did. And, you know, right, other than the sort of mind-bending wowness
of it. It's mind-boggling.
It's also a logical fallacy because it puts forth the proposition that there are two and only two choices. There's a dichotomy here. One can either eat the flesh of animals one knows, or one can eat factory-farmed flesh. And of course, this reasoning omits the glaringly obvious third choice, which is that one can choose not to eat anyone's flesh. And that choice is left out of the argument. Always the assumption, rock bottom, base level assumption is that one must consume flesh. And that omission is critical in this particular debate.
Definitely. And, you mentioned economics before. Hasn't the school been offered a considerable sum of money so that Bill and Lou could go to your sanctuary or a sanctuary?
Absolutely. It's stunning the amounts of money people have been putting forth as offers. I have heard upwards of $100,000. People have offered to chip in, and given the thousands of people who've offered to do that, I would guess that might even top that amount. The school continues to say this is a matter of principle. We won't sell them for any price, and they have maintained that all along. So, you know, even a very large donation to the library was declined.
This is truly amazing. You know, it's almost like spiteful. I mean, I don't really understand that. You know, I don't really understand what's going on with this at all. And so they were supposed to have been killed already. Yes, I mean,
absolutely, right? Absolutely. The original. What we knew from the beginning, actually, was that they had until the end of the month, and for reasons that, again, are unclear, they could no longer be on their pasture after October 31st. So what happened was a large number of activists from all over the country, possibly the world, I don't know, phoned all of the area slaughterhouses, which are AWA approved, that stands for Animal Welfare Approved, and they phoned them and they expressed their strong opinions that they felt this was something that should not be done, that they should not slaughter and process Bill and Lou. And this happened to the extent that the area slaughterhouses declined to process Bill and Lou. The way this was presented from the school to the outside world was that slaughterhouses were responding to threats that were made, and that's why they're scared to do this. And, you know, Vine has certainly never called in threats or advocated the doing of same. And honestly, I suspect that what is perceived as a threat is no more than a strong opinion, and it's unfortunate how those two things become conflated. But whatever the reality is, in terms of what was said, the fact is that there aren't any outlets for them to go to right now. And so here they still are. We heard word today that they're still alive, and we're just continuing to push and make the school understand that this is an enormously unpopular decision.
Do you have the number for the school so our listeners can call in, hopefully many, many, many of them?
We do. Thanks for asking. Yes, Green Mountain College phone number is 1-800-776-6675. Again, it's 1-800-776-6675. And what we'd like folks to do is ask the Green Mountain College president to grant clemency to Bill and Lou, sending them to sanctuary. I will say right now that callers will most likely not get through to the president, and they might, in fact, be told by the receptionist that the school is no longer taking comments on the subject. But I would encourage people to utter that one sentence and get it in, because if that's what the school hears over and over and over again, that we believe is a way that the school can, A, send them to sanctuary, any reputable sanctuary. We don't have a need to possess them at Vine. If they hate us, they hate us. They don't have to live here.
But you're the nearby one, right? You're the sensible, logical location for them.
We are, and particularly given that Lou not only has a bad leg, but one that has not been medicated since he injured it. Yes, it would absolutely make sense for them to come here. But definitely, if Ranker's going to mean a choice between death and a long trailer ride, we'll vote for the trailer ride. So, we definitely want the school to hear that this is a move that will not in any way indicate the school is saying, I'm sorry, we were wrong, we made an error. If they don't, want to be perceived as such, clemency is the perfect option.
Now, if the school is putting its hands over its ears and singing la 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 la, not wanting to hear anything anymore, is there anything else that can be done? I mean, what?
Yes, absolutely. The Vermont Department of Tourism might well want to hear about this. This is definitely something that doesn't reflect well on the state. The Vermont Department of Agriculture, even though it came out publicly in favor of the school in a press release, that doesn't mean that they are not open to hearing the opinions of folks, particularly those who either live in Vermont, New Hampshire, and New York, or those who have ties to this area. So the governor's office as well, they have expressed, and Bernie Sanders, they've expressed, the governor has given his support to the school as well. But again, the marathon was going to go on and then it was canceled thanks to public opinion. So public opinion upon occasion can sway people.
Yeah, we're talking to Miriam Jones at the Vine Sanctuary in Vermont, and something you mentioned about the slaughterhouses nearby, though, sounded strange to me. You said animal welfare approved. Oh no, am I going to get a stomachache now from? What could that be? Is that possible? So animal welfare approved throat slashing? I mean, I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, it's I think that when you enter into the world of this particular world of the so-called humane meat, milk, and egg movement, if you think about it, many things follow to their logical conclusion. So you start from one kind of concept that is mind-bending. If your paradigm is that all individuals, regardless of species, are inherently equal. So if you know that, all of these things make you a little crazy. But if you accept as a mind exercise that this is humane to farm another living creature, then it follows logically that you're going to want to kill them in a manner that you find humane. And so these AWA slaughterhouses exist to essentially, so they say, make death easy, painless, and just like a little vacation. And I think that obviously, just like these farms that purport to be so much better than factory farms, undercover investigations prove that is far from the truth in any kind of consistent way. I don't know, but I would venture to guess that the same has to be true for these slaughterhouses as well. Again, throwing away for the moment that death in itself is inhumane, just forgetting that part. I think other problems have to exist, although I don't have any proof of that.
So are you surprised at the worldwide attention that Bill and Lou are receiving?
I'm not, to be honest with you. It's been a very broad-based movement. Definitely the vegan core is there. And to them, not only are we fighting for two individuals to live, but we're also, they're all Bill and Lou. And all cows who are murdered for consumption or abused and exploited for work or seen as whatever they're seen as in themselves, that they, for better or for worse, have come to symbolize that reality, particularly as it pertains to the so-called humane farming movement. But beyond the vegan core, there are plenty of farmers, including those who farm animals, in quotation marks, who believe that, they are working animals, and working animals retire. You go to pasture. That's what we do. If we can do it, and the key was always in the traditional farming household, if we can do it. Can we afford the hay? Can we afford the pasture? In this case, we offered to pick Bill and Lou up at any time at our own expense and care for them, again, at our own expense. So they certainly can afford to do it. Then there are people who eat flesh, and they point out that 11-year-old working oxen meat is generally never served to humans for consumption. So you have, but I think what you said in the beginning about Grandma, I have to say that seems like a common chord throughout everybody. Either folks are at that age when the world tells them they're done now, or they're old enough to imagine being that age, and the indignation and the outrage. It's empathy. It is straight up empathy. I feel myself in their shoes, and I don't want someone to tell me I'm using up resources if I hit.
Right.
You know,
we're all using up resources, you know. So,
exactly.
So drop the big bomb now, and that'll be sustainable. The most sustainable thing. Drop the big bomb. We're just about out of time, Miriam, and it's really great to speak with you. And maybe a minute left, but you know what you said just now is, you know, all of them are Bill and Lou. You know, we have sympathy for these two cows who have gotten our attention, but all of them, by the millions, each one is Bill or Lou. And if we want to save each Bill or Lou, we do need to go vegan. We don't eat humane meat. We don't get, Wayne Pacelli holding the cow's hands going to the slaughterhouse. Forgive me. I have a terrible anti-HSUS streak in me. You don't have to. I know it's not your comment. But, okay, so in about the 30 seconds we have left, anything you want to say? And should people contact you and help your sanctuary?
Well, first I want to say amen. That's absolutely true. All flesh is murder. So absolutely. And a plant-based diet is the only sustainable diet. So even if you couldn't care less about other creatures, if you care about your own self, you gotta go vegan. We support Bill and Lou, and yes, please, listeners, call the school and express your opinion. And thank you so much for the chance to talk about this.
Is there a website for your sanctuary? Or?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you. It's vine, V-I-N-E, .sanctuary.org. And our blog has been exceptionally lively, particularly lots of traffic from GMC students, parents, and faculty. The conversation is fascinating. So to get a sort of in-depth look at these issues from the inside, check out our blog. It's humming.
Yeah, and I don't know how appetizing the Green Mountain College cafeteria sounds. I don't know if I'd be eating there anytime soon.
Yeah. Some of us are predicting a lot of vomiting that day. I'll just say that.
Yeah, kind of disgusting, actually. But eat your friends, because it's better to know whom you're eating than...
Absolutely.
In that case, Jeffrey Dahmer could be president of that school in no time. So the school number is 800-776-6675, and also call the Department of Tourism in Vermont. Tell them you're not going to hold your next convention there if Bill and Lou are killed. We want them alive. Thanks so much for the work you're doing, Miriam Jones. Vine, thanks for being with us.
Thank you as well. Thank you. Take care.